Hello, babies. Good morning. Don't look at the crafts behind me if you're homophobic. Just kidding. Good morning. Thank you so much for the subscription. For the description. I clearly am awake already. Good morning. Early stream. Hi. Welcome, welcome. Been kind of a super cuckoo bananas week. I'm good, I'm good. How are you all? Ronan, how are you? Hello, hi Seven, hi baby. I'm good, I'm good. The baby slept, I think, all the way through the entire night last night. So rested, but still tired. Hello, hello. Yeah, so today Morgan has the plus size clothing swap. Love the Stardew. Eep7 is also valid, though. Good morning. Hi, Red. Good to see you, baby. Oh my gosh, been a minute. Welcome, welcome. Morgan has the clothing swap up in Portland, and then I will be at the library rally that's going on. And when they were planning the library rally, they were like, my old man friend Jim. Here's the problem. I just need to start saying my retired friend Jim so people know that he's a million years old. Because I occasionally will say my boomer friend Jim, but I feel like boomer has like like an unkind connotation. I don't mean that. I just mean that literally, like, he is a boomer. Like, he is a part of the baby boomer generation. He's very sweet though. But he was like, May 4th, that's the day we have to do it. That's the perfect day to do it. And I was like, okay, girl, I'm gonna make that work, but my baby's gonna be with me, and it's gonna be a little cuckoo bananas. But here we go. Hello, Crypto Creeper. Welcome, welcome, friends. I finished my sign last night. Very excited. And Jim he's trying to get more people to come to the rally. So this is so much. If I'm boring, sorry. I'm probably on in the background anyway, so I'll be boring. That's fine. But Jim is a retired Oregon State librarian. He's incredible. He's been advocating for the library for the past like 20 some years. I'm obsessed with him. He's so cute. You were so sweet, friend. Thank you so much. Thank you. Y'all are too nice to me. But anyway, so there are all of these. I think what I've realized is that Jim is actually like doing four-dimensional chess, because I had a call with the people from every library who are like the pack who support like libraries and book bans. They work with folks who there is like a loud opposition to the library being funded in their area. Generally, when those folks are facing people saying that like the library is like promoting gay people or trans people. We don't have that here. There are a lot of gay and trans people who work there, but there's not an opposition. So anyway, in that call, not with Jim, they were like, if you spend over a certain amount of your own personal money, you have to announce, like, it has to be labeled in a specific way for like politics things. So Jim this whole time has been like, we're only doing 400 yard signs, like lawn signs. We're not doing any more than that. And I kept being like, why not? And I think he just didn't want to get into it. But we can't do more than that because it would be over the threshold. I'm fairly certain of like, then we would have to either I literally don't even know. It would be something that's complicated. I don't think it would technically be a pack, but it's Jim's rich lawyer friend who said he has a shit ton of money and he loves libraries, which is very cute. Novelty Pixels, I love that. That's so cute. They also, every library, they do work with book ban things, banned book stuff. I'll give you guys the link because they're very cool. Hold on. Every library. Yeah. Fighting book banning in their communities, and also. But yeah, the guy who runs it was really lovely. Hello, Gay Frog Agenda. Welcome, welcome. Send. Anyway, they're really cool. I talked to the guy who's like the main one in charge of it. I very much girl boss Too Close to the Sun on that one. What's going on in my community is there is a official PAC funded like Yes for Salem campaign, and then the folks who are running it are not as tech savvy as they are. There's you know what I mean, gently and kindly, you know what I mean. And then also the verbiage and the things that they're saying and the things that they're doing are all great things to get people to vote yes for this. Their target audience is very obviously 55 and up voters, because those are the folks who show up more often. Not show up, but who actually turn in their ballots. And hell yeah, check out every library because they're really lovely. Yeah. Well, and then there's, me, who's kind of like off doing my own thing over here because I didn't want to have to get like approval from someone else to post things. And Jim was like, go crazy. And Jim had been working on their campaign. Anyway, they're just, there's just a lot going on and we love it. A lot of support for the library, which is great. Yeah. Gently and kindly, I'm gonna hold my hand while I help you is the energy. They also, I've reached out to them a couple of times and they didn't like ghost me exactly, but it seems as if they're not interested in working with me, which is totally fine. The way that this election is going, the way that the levy works and that the money works, is that this would create specific allocated money for the library that can only go to the library. And the verbiage that the yesforsalem.org folks are using is like, then we don't have to take money from the general fund and take money from emergency services like police and fire. When you say that sentence to young people, they are like, oh, so this money is secretly going to fund the police. Also, I don't think that would actually happen. I don't think that the city council is going to, they can't, if they hire less cops, then they just have to do overtime for the other cops, and they're not going to, like close down a fire station so that they can have the library be open. So like, I don't think that's even something that's going to happen. It's not the city council. That would be much more fun. That would be a much more interesting YouTube watch, because they do stream them and I do rewatch them. There's the budget committee also. It's a whole thing. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm really excited about the rally today. I finished up my sign. Do you guys want to see my sign? You probably saw it on Instagram. But if you're not on Instagram, I'll show you. Please hold. Don't look at it's a BRB, but I'll be right back. Are you ready? It's a little golden book. Can you see it? I'm really proud of the train. The train was hard. Thank you. The black, this is from my mom's silhouette machine. I downloaded a font that's the little golden book font. Thank you. I'm really excited about it. And then on the other side, this is just the inside. I'm going to put, because Jim has these like big paint markers. I'm going to steal one of those because I wasn't going to do this in Sharpie, and I wasn't going to do it in paint because that's like so much. Thank you. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to photograph it a lot today. But anyway, I'm going to write, A literacy crisis is a horrible time to defund the library on this side. But yeah, I'm excited. It's cutesy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I worked hard. Yeah, we had like a sign making party at art department, which is a store that I had never been to and will now be going to. Yeah. This spine is so on point. Anyway, sorry. Library stuff. Stardew Pope stuff. Are we ready? Here is my thought process for this. I think we do like a voter's guide for the Stardew Pope and include facts that we think are relevant to a character's popeliness, popacity. You know what I mean? Which is hard. Let's go. Can we have? Is there like a full list of characters? We can just go. A villagers. Yeah. Okay. Popeability, popeliciousness. Oh yeah, novelty pixel. That's so fair. So there, it's something that we've created. I don't even know what it is. We're electing a pope. If there was a pope of Stardew Valley, we're picking who that pope would be. It is entirely silly. It is just because I learned about the conclave and how they pick the pope in the Catholic Church. And it's wild and very cool and dramatic and very like theater kid energy. They use like different like smoke colors to like burn the ballots when they're trying to like vote on the pope. And it's like a secret process that they do. Yes. I know. Sorry. So we're going to try. Right now, we're not electing the Stardew Valley Pope. We're just putting up the information. Stardew Valley, but it's a conclave. It'll be Conclave Valley when we are all cardinals voting on the Pope. Yes. Did you guys hear my stomach growl? I swear that wasn't a fart. That sounded crazy. No, we love it. We're so glad that you're here, Aminta. Yes. Okay. Here's the situation. I think we just go in order. I think it's best if we start with the non-marriage candidates real quick. Oh. I think only the giftable NPCs are the ones who we will be counting for this. I think it'll be from these folks. I think including these folks in the situation would be really chaotic. So I think we just do these ones. The grandpa's the first pope before Francis. What do we think? I feel like that makes the most sense. And I think that for this to be, fair, based on people's attraction levels to characters, I think we start with the non-marriageable candidates. I think makes the most sense. Is what we'll do. Copy image. Paste. Nice. Nice. Okay. Which means that we, for no reason, like in no specific order, the dog. Pope Vincent is already a pope name. Do you see? We have a lot of things to discuss here. Okay. First, we have Caroline. All right. Caroline, oh, yeah, I guess here's the thing is, like, what do we think are, like, the things that are relevant information to her, like, her potential, resume. Oh, no, that is not what I meant to do. How It's not, is it alt? There we go. God, so scary. She's a nice lady. What are the qualities of popeliness? I think that's also hard because we have to decide what we think would be a popely quality. I think we can include, classically, a pope is not allowed to be a woman. We're getting that out of there. And then classically, a pope has to be older than 35. And we're also not doing that. Can withstand that husband is an excellent one. Let's do, yeah. Can withstand. Withstand? Girl, can you? I need you to be all the way over for me. Wee, wee, wee. Beautiful. Likely cheated on her husband. Ooh, colored hair, possibly religiously traumatized. Okay. And now, here's the other thing, though. She complains about Abigail's hair being dyed, but her hair must be dyed. Is it growing green out of her head? Friendship with Catholicism is over. New best friend is Stardew Catholicism. Okay. I think we should include the hair color thing. She's projecting? Do we think that? Or do we think that hair sometimes grows green? I don't know. Doesn't like Abigail's purple hair. Good God, my tummy is so grumbly. These are the facts that we know about Caroline. Okay, I don't think I need her. Goes to aerobics class. I don't think it's that interesting. Never wins the egg hunt. Does she participate in the egg hunt? Her mom only had 2 green potions with the Wizard of Oz. Oh, that's true. That's so true. Has a temple in her house. In her house. Lets people just go in there. See, these are the things that I would not have even thought of. And that's an excellent... I would say that's a mark of popeliness, for sure. That's true. Doesn't go. Does not go to house temple. I feel like that's a good amount. Loves green tea. Beautiful. Maybe that's what's turning her hair this color. How would we know? Oh, I think she does. Now that you say that. Sends you a recipe in the mail. Oh, God. Parsnip soup. Ironically, one of her husband's... She sends you a recipe for parsnip soup, which is ironically one of her husband's hated gifts, is bananas. Her 2-heart event is triggered during the player collects tea leaves from the tea bush when Caroline harvests it. You know, I think we as a group get to decide if green tea is drugs, if we feel that adds, because we're not the Catholic Church, we're the Church of Stardew Valley. So, popes drink wine, drug tea similar? Question mark. I'm comfortable with that. You know what I mean? We can call on some of the classic vibes of the Catholic Church while not, it doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? What is green tea but the wine of Stardew? What is Stardew wine if not something you get out of a barrel that is just more expensive than the fruit? Who's drinking that? Nobody. Okay, now we have Clint. Clint, who I cannot imagine is going to do well in regards to the Pope election, based on what I know of y'all, but let's try. What do we think is relevant in Clint's Pope or lack of popely qualities? Oh, yeah. This is, what is it? It's the Dalgona coffee. It's like the instant coffee with hot, with a little bit of sugar and hot water, and then you like, blah, 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 and then it has a bunch of soy milk in it. I'm so into soy milk right now. So into it. Bad vibes. It's a great point for Clint. Bad vibes. I'd like to expand upon that. Weird about Emily. Right? Misogyny is a pretty common Pope trait. He's got that. Weirdo. We hate him. Okay. Has beard. Popely of him. Oh, wait, no. Do the popes have beards? I think the popes are all clean shaven, aren't they? Let me Google Pope images. Can the Pope... Thank you, Gemini. The Pope have a beard. Typically, the tradition of clean... Hold on. There hasn't been a bearded Pope in more than 300 years. There is a reason for it, says this.org. Because I refuse to look at the... Oh my god. Yeah, hi Gemini. Probably a virgin. Oh god, now this looks insane. Okay, well, sorry everyone. Hold on. Beards occupy an interesting place in the Hebrew Bible. Cutting off another man's beard was considered to be an outrage. Either shaving or plucking one's own beard was indicated one was mourning. Allowing one's beard to be defiled could make others think one was mad. And some cuttings of the beard that probably imitated pagan customs were strictly forbidden. Wow, okay. All right, you know what? That's so much. Shaving would symbolically imply the cutting away of the sins and vices considered to be not only noxious, but also superfluous, as facial hair is perfectly expendable and unnecessary. Now, the practical reasons are related to liturgy itself. Clerics should not allow their upper lip hair to impede them from drinking from the chalice. This has always been considered more than a good reason to shave. Wow. Okay. Has beard. Noxious is a great word for Clint. Yeah, defiled. So much. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Bad vibes, weird about Emily, has beard. I would say, okay, probably could make a sick chalice. For sure. Like, that's a pro for him. Definitively. We'll put drugs in question marks about the green tea. Oh, and then also for Clint, we'll say absolutely celibate. Probably listens to Bardcore only. That's a great job, Seven. That's a great job. I mean, a great point. You guys, is there something about having a child where even if you do sleep all the way through the night, your brain, part of it just turns off? Maybe forever. I had heard this was possibly true about people who make the baby because the baby steals your brain tissue or whatever. So good at words. So good at words. Okay. All right. Possible secret Grindr account. Listen. You know what? That's a good point, Wednesday. I'll cut myself some slack there. That's a great point. Okay. Demetrius. Copy. Paste. Okay, what are our Pope Demetrius thoughts? Here we go. Is it the same distance? Certainly not. Well, are you... What's the... Okay, alright, alright. Kind of hoity-toity. Vampire Baby is really funny. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Baby thief. The baby's a brain thief. That's okay. He's very cute, so. Good Pope name. I love. Pope name. Hoity-toity. Vibes. Science special interest. We love a potential pope who is into science. Ooh. Is a father. Popes can be fathers. They just have to be celibate afterwards. So I'm going to say is a father. Frees up Robin for marrying. Believes in science, but hates his stepson. Am I getting a text message? Oh. Not really. I feel the freeze up Robin is going to be big for people. We'll say doesn't like his stepson. Because I don't know if we're certain that he hates him. That's a lot for Demetrius. I think that's good. I'm so sorry. I don't think they can get divorced. We're talking about within the context of the imaginary Stardew Valley that we are creating. The Pope can't be married. Yeah. Does that make sense? So, like, we wouldn't then be able to marry Robin. Yeah. This is a nonsense. And also, I'm playing it on the Switch, so we don't even have mods. So it really wouldn't do anything, but emotionally. Because most likely I'm going to live with Krobus anyway, so. Okay. Demetrius. The dwarf. Pope Dwarf. Ooh, exciting. The Stardew Conclave. I was like, spoilers. Okay, what do we know about the dwarf? Very little. Loves a shiny trinket. True. Loves a shiny trinket. Great point. As do popes. I know, he's so cute. Has a robe already. Excellent point. I'm gonna say, okay, what I want to say is like the Pope's lives underground. Interesting, if nothing else. The Popes have to speak in Latin, right? Welcome, Murky Water Queer. Welcome to Sturge. We're creating a voter's guide for the Stardew Valley Pope. So we're going through it, including information about everybody. Ooh, ears that can hold. I do like that, Bugle Wacky. Used to secrecy. Secrecy. Yeah. Hold on. The popes have to speak in Latin, right? The dwarf, I don't think the dwarf is multilingual because we learn dwarfish to understand what he says, correct? And that's what I'm saying. Does he speak more than one language? Or do we learn to speak? Let me see. Start out speaking in Dwarvish, understand Dwarvish, the 4 Dwarvish squadrons in the museum, or reward the Dwarvish translation guide, which allows to understand the Dwarf speech. Cannot be made French, it can't be affected with the Dwarf until Dwarvish is understood. Okay. Oh, he can speak to Krobus. That's true. That's true. Okay. I'm going to say multilingual. He doesn't speak English, but he does speak whatever Krobus's language is, and also Dwarvish. Multilingual. I think he's the only multilingual king that we know of, then. Unless Krobus knows Dwarvish. Cell's arms might be a minus. We're calling this good. Okay. Evelyn. Paste. Pope Evelyn. Yeah, what do we mean sells arms? Because I was just pretending I knew what you were talking about. Oh, bombs. Yes. Yes. Are arms not, and I'm so sorry, but when they say arms, do they not mean exclusively guns? I thought you meant arms. Do bombs count as arms? Yes. Big part of the community. We'll say community focused. That was a sad baby. Tends to plants. That's a good one. Cares for disabled people. Just her husband, though, right? Not that that doesn't count. Yeah, we'll say elderly. Puts up with George, who's kind of a bitch. Unrelated to being disabled. He just is a little bit bitchy. Not a crime. Arms can refer to weapons, especially military weapons. Like firearms can also be used more generally for any weapon or implement used for defense or offense. I love that. Thank you, Gemini. Lemon drop smoothies, what a great question. If I had to guess, I would say that specific wording is somewhere in something old that we've typed up somewhere in the rules. Specifically, I would say that it means that we don't want folks like reaching out to and DMing other people via stream unless that person has already said that it is okay. Does that make sense? I feel like when people talk about consent, they talk about it a lot in terms of like intimacy, but it applies to a lot of other things. And I think specifically with the way that folks interact with each other, that is the way that I was thinking of probably when I typed that maybe 3 years ago. Is she older than 80? And are we keeping that rule? Oh, no. You can be the Pope if you're older than 80. You can't vote for the Pope if you're older than 80, but we're the only ones who are voting. So if anyone is watching stream who is 80 at the time when we're doing the conclave, we'll ask that you refrain from voting. But you could be the Pope. But again, we're doing a silly different version of the conclave because obviously the Stardew Valley. Oh no. It would be interesting if we included who we thought these people would vote for Pope, but that is too much work, and so I don't think so. No, the Pope in real life has not been decided. They are still in the mourning period for Pope Francis, currently. Yes. 7 says the consent focus thing came about when we had people DMing without consent and being incredibly pushy in the DMs. That is what I thought was happening. The other thing I think is that within this community, I think there is a lot of folks showing up in a really like genuine and open way, which I think is really lovely, which can sometimes other people might think that the way that those people are showing up means that that's how they would like to be addressed in private as well. Like they can talk to them about the same things that we talked about in stream, and that's not always the case. Does that make sense? And then also, because this community, especially, there's so many queer and trans people and there's so many stressful things going on in the world, it is like, it's stressful and hard to exist in the world, but we can't be relying on each other for mental health support. That is something that needs to be done by mental health professionals, I think is the other thing that we were thinking of at the time with the consent focus. Does that make sense? That was also an earlier period of stream. I feel like now we kind of like don't talk about stressy stuff as much, whereas before there was more of that. But right now we're trying to do, particularly for Stardew Valley stream, we're trying to do like, let's do something that is so fun and silly and so unrelated to the horrors. It's okay. It's okay to not think about the horrors for a period of time, which we love. Okay. Evelyn, community focused, tends to plants, elderly, puts up with bitchy husband. Horror break to talk about the horrors. Whew. Let's see. I know that diamonds are one of her favorites. Her, like, most favorites. She never visits the beach resort. Interesting. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so sad. Sorry, yes, we're talking about Evelyn. Multiple instances of new folks didn't get the vibes of the community without asking first back in 2122 and being pushy about it. It's definitely still relevant now, just in a different context given the way things have changed over time. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. No, you didn't ruin the cozy atmosphere. It's a great question. It's super fair. We're still cozy. Don't even stress. Okay, this is so sad. So, speaking of horrors break, this in Evelyn's nightstand is a note written to her addressed as Mama. The note reads, Mama, if you're reading this, it means that I've passed on. I'm so sorry you've had to go through this. Know that I love you both. Don't be too upset. I'm with Yoba now. My final request, take care of Alex. He needs a family, something stable. He's a good kid. Love, Clara. This is possibly a note from Evelyn's daughter. She passed away and left Alex to live with Evelyn and George. In the beginning of Stardew Valley, Evelyn gives you permission to call her Granny. That's so sad. I had no idea. I know. Yeah. Okay. Wow. We're gonna say like deceased daughter. I feel like that gives George actually a lot of he has all the reason in the world to be bitchy. The people's grandma. Yeah. I think Evelyn would be a great pope. Okay. Now. Another page. Can I make you... What do we do? Is it this one? Yeah. Let's do this. Sorry, y'all. Let's do this. Let's do this. That way we can see for the most part. Great. Okay. We had Evelyn. Now George. Copy. Paste. George. I can scroll down. Sorry. Is that better? Are we okay? Does he go to church every Sunday? Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Church every Sunday. That's a poke point if I've ever seen one. Did I spell Sunday wrong? Oh no, it just wants it capitalized. Whatever. But Evelyn stays home. There is a church in Stardew. It's the Church of Yoba. It's this like weird... It's inside Pierre's house. It's like this... Oh, you're not going to be able to see it. Wait. Where... Is this the altar? Yeah. Sorry, hold on. God. Deep. This thingy. Alt. Sweep. Cool. Con, he wouldn't say the F slur in a funny way. I was gonna say I really like George. I think he's sweet. Would not use the Italian F slur. Hold on. Genuinely, my diva. Peaches Christ, love your vibe, love your name. That's amazing. Hold on. Let me find the Pope Francis F slur. Sorry, the title of this Times article says Pope Francis uses anti-gay slur again. Rest in peace to that man. Yeah! Okay, sorry. Not again. Okay. Also, to be clear, I'm obsessed and I am someone who's been called the F slur quite a few times. And when I'm not on the internet, I don't like use it liberally, but it is a word that I feel pretty comfortable saying because of being queer and now perceived especially as being like more like masculine, but also something I've been called for a long time. Actually, way more often. Way more often I've been called the F slur than I've been called the D slur, which I'm also comfortable. I think is super fine for me to say. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, weeks after apology. This is so funny. Weeks after apologizing for using an Italian slur, which roughly translates to faggotry, Pope Francis reportedly used the same term again in a closed-door meeting with Roman priests on Tuesday, right in the middle of Pride Month. There is an air of the F slur at the Vatican. Oh my God. Francis had used the controversial term during a closed-door discussion with the Italian bishops last month, during which he also repeated his stance. Oh, damn. His stance against the church permitting openly gay men to become priests. Please. He's not a perfect man. Spoken to a range of topics, including the wars in Ukraine and Gaza, as well as artificial intelligence. He ended the discussion by returning to the topic, admitting men with homosexual tendencies into seminaries, emphasizing that everyone should be welcome into the church, while at the same time reiterating the church's official opposition to gay men entering the priesthood. His use of a homophobic slur, which is the local Italian media outlets said last month, may have been a misunderstanding based on the fact that his native language is Spanish, highlights his complicated legacy on LGBTQ issues. While he's regarded to have ushered in a new era of acceptance and inclusion, including by allowing same-sex couples to be blessed by priests, he has steadfastly resisted approving of gay clergymen or same-sex marriage. Interesting. Never intended to offend or express himself in homophobic terms, and apologizes to those who felt offended. Yeah. Oh, damn. You know, that makes sense. That makes sense. Not a perfect man, by any means. Literally the head of the Catholic Church. Certainly the most liberal head of the Catholic Church that we've had. Baby steps we've had, as if I'm in the Catholic Church. Sorry, no. Objectively, I feel kind of a funny use of an Italian F slur. That's a great point, Seven. That's a great point. I can't believe he said that. Okay. All right. George. Again, up to everyone to decide whether or not this is a pro or a con, but it's true, I do not believe that George would use the Italian F slur. We'll put in elderly, because there's not that many. Elderly. He's an icon by Pope standards for sure. Absolutely for sure. Also, him stacking the conclave, such a slay. It's like something of the 135 cardinals who will be in the conclave who are most likely to be chosen to be the next pope. He chose 108 of them. He's also the first Argentinian pope. I believe technically the first like non-European pope in the last like 300 years. And he drastically changed the percentages at which non-European cardinals are like there in the options. He was transphobic, but at the same time, people had mentioned anecdotally that he was pro-trans. At times he was pro-trans folks, so incredibly contradictory at times. I also, I'm really curious, not to, speak up for a dead pope, because I really don't know. I have no idea. But I feel like when you are someone, and this is just generally sort of problematic with the way the positions of power are and etc. But me as someone who is now currently working on a lot of local politics things, I cannot at a city council meeting go in there and be like, fuck the cops, defund the cops, I hate them, even though that is personally an opinion that I have, because I am in those instances speaking for my community and advocating for the library. And so even though I like, does that make sense? You know what I mean? And I would like to continue to be able to speak about things and have my perspective be taken seriously, and also be able to advocate for the library in such a way that like city council members are not gonna like just immediately have their brains turn off when they hear me talk, because do you know what I mean? So I cannot imagine what that is. Not to cut people in power like too much slack, but that must be amplified, right? There must be a level of that. For Catholic, he was certainly pretty good. But there's got to be like you know what I mean? You got to approach those things with the appropriate attitude, regardless of personal opinions, yes. And if you're literally speaking for the Catholic Church, like, how many rules is he actually allowed to change? If the conclave is that secretive, a la the British royals, whatever, like, are they even allowed to change certain things? Like, did he, like, promise to God when he was sworn in that he would not, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Also anti-monarchy, just to be super clear, me personally. But, you know, I learned too much about Princess Diana, and so now I have really big opinions. But I have not finished The Crown, which was a very good show. I have not seen the most recent season. Okay. What? George, church every Sunday, would not use the Italian F slur, elderly. Do we have any other things that we think would be popeable to him? Popely qualities, perhaps? I think church every Sunday is, like, kind of a big one. Should we look at his? Sorry, I'm not trying to. That's so funny. George will send you recipes for fried eel and spicy eel, which are ironically two of his wife's hated gifts. Huh. Everyone share a little win? I love that for you. Not so binary art. Was it because of I was going to say indie bookstore weekend? The best. Whensoever that was. Love it. Yeah, I accidentally ended up in an independent bookstore. I was at the Book Bin on independent bookstore day, weekend, whatever. And I was like, this is so cute. It was so busy. It was bananas. Good for them. Oh, interesting. My little one is I'm going to the library rally later today. Very excited. Okay, Gus. Oh, I just live in the United States and I know a lot about Princess Diana. So my monarchy opinions are probably not interesting to anyone. I feel that like, it just can't. I don't think it's, and there's so so many problems in the world. So many problems. The horrors, they're endless. But I feel that just, like, kind of on a basic level, to me, it seems like anti-humanitarian to have people born into this position where they are going to be watched their entire lives. As someone whose baby is very private from the internet, I cannot imagine, like, being one of the royal children and never having consented to that at all whatsoever. That's horrible. Horrible. So there's that, and then also they're, like, super racist for an extended period of time. Hell yeah. I love that for you, Princess Penwhoop. That's amazing. Sometimes you just gotta make yourself go, you know? Okay, Gus, I'm gonna say business owner. That's something. Popely. Princess Diary, all monarchs. Oh, they're just, like, racist, like, systemically. But also, like, Prince Philip specifically would just say the most like, and he's dead now, right? Thank God. But like, he would say the most like out of pocket shit while like visiting other countries that he was technically. I'm from the United States, and they do not teach us very much about the British royalty here at all whatsoever. But like, there's so many instances of him literally like going to another country and then saying horrible things. There's like a million of them. It's really bad. Like, to the people's faces who are in charge and doing things there. But also a bunch of other stuff. Business owner, makes good food. Love that. I love that. Princess Benwa being anti-monarchy. Slay. Oh my goodness. Gus, I'm gonna say like unmarried, I think is relevant. Gus has a real gay vibe to me. Gives free food to Linus. Oh, that's so true. Gives free, in like a nice way too, to Linus. And then I'm gonna say unmarried, gay, not capital, gay. Con, who would run the tavern? That's true. Who, I feel like Emily could do it. Run the tavern. Emily? Question mark? But that would be a very different vibe. She would definitely put like tie-dye banners up, tapestries, you know what I mean? That's her energy that she's bringing. Not a crime. She'd be like burning incense. And like slay. I feel royalty is great, but also problematic. Depends on who's currently in charge, like putting someone in that position because family. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Aminta, that's a super a safe space during the green rain. I love that. Safe space during green rain. I don't think that's a bad question or something you can't ask here, Aminta. I just don't know that anybody's gonna know anything like that. You may, yeah, that's how I feel, 7 for sure. The Discord might have, possibly, someone might know. You okay?
Yeah, I'm in the shower.
I'm finishing up in like 2 seconds.
Cool.
Is he good?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, you might check in the Discord. See if anybody knows anything. I'm sorry you got laid off, though. That's very stressful. Very stressful. I don't understand why more jobs aren't remote. I think it's got to be because of the buildings and because of tax breaks, and it's really grinding my gears. Yeah. No. You're perfect. You're perfect. We're also almost done anyway. It's also not... You're totally fine. Y'all are so sweet. I feel like now people will be like, oh, I don't want to mess up the vibes. I don't want to stress anybody out. Whereas, like, some people come into stream and they're like, did you hear so-and-so just died? That's the kind of things that we're not hoping for. I would say anytime a celebrity has died, especially like gay ones, like Leslie Jordan, which was so sad, is like a whole thing. Yes, general advice channel may be a good spot. Absolutely. We're gossipy but respectful. So true. I also know that the way that my anxiety works is that if I say something and then other people don't respond or other people talk about something different in like a chat or something like that, I'll be like, I ruined it. I did something terrible and now I'm terrible and everyone hates me. Not the case. Also, there's like 41 people right now. So it's crazy how busy chat is anyway. Love you all. Thank you for being here. But yeah, it's not that. They just probably don't have anything specific to say, which is totally fine. What if it's a good thing the person died? You know? You know, I don't know. I can certainly think of it. There are some scenarios when it happens. If you know, if if that happens while we're all hanging out on stream, I think that would be okay to share with the class. But I also feel like I'll probably be receiving like 6 different text messages. We listen and we don't judge. Exceptions to every rule is so true. So true, so real for that. Okay. All right, my beautiful friends. For next Stardew Valley church, for our for Pope Valley, for our preparation for the conclave, we'll be finishing this up. We got some good work done here today. I think the other thing is that I kind of like all of us doing this together, because then the information that we're using is like been decided by the group as the things that we're voting on. I think when we actually end up voting, it's not, because you can only do 4 at a time anyway on like a Twitch poll. Maybe it won't be within Twitch poll. I don't know, but we'll have this available for people to click to and look at, so that they can check out their voter pamphlet. Pope shenanigans to be continued. Yes. Good job, Team Pizza Party, for voting day. Everyone, if you probably have a local election that will either be on May 20th or your mail-in ballots have been sent out if you're in the United States, bracket voting. Ooh. Yes. Yeah, an offshoot of how we think the Stardew community would vote, I think, is also interesting. Pope-nanigans. Pope-nanigans. Okay. We love the Pope-nanigans. Thank you for being here. We're obviously working on our Stardew Valley election, but there's probably a real election. Please vote in your local elections on your local things. They're so important, and the school board especially, so important for keeping conservative folks from taking those over in a majority and then being stressful. Okay. All right. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye, babies. We'll see you on Sunday for Stardew Valley Church. Mwah. Oh, and I'll switch to this. Okay, goodbye.